Welcome to My Natural Hair Delights, where you can enjoy rocking your natural hair with all natural ingredients. My name is Brittany Shine, and today I'm going to talk about the difference between essential oils and carrier oils. So what is an essential oil? Let's talk about essential oil first. Okay, so essential oils are oils that are light, very, very light texture, but they have a strong, potent smell, okay? An example would be lavender essential oil. You have grapefruit essential oil, rosemary essential oil, lemongrass essential oil, and so many other types of essential oils, okay? They usually come in a bottle where you can use like the top and you just like place a few drops on your hair, or you can place a few drops in your mix, whether you're mixing your hair growth butter or hair growth oil. Those are essential oils, okay? Now, and I also forgot to mention about peppermint essential oil, okay? Peppermint essential oil is another type of essential oil that you can use on your hair as well, but you will have to use just a few drops. I would say about 3 to 5 drops of peppermint essential oil. So it just depends on what type of essential oil you like to use. Grapefruit essential oil is a little more mild, but it does have a smell to it as well. And lemongrass essential oil has a very good smell, but it can be a little strong as well. You will be able to tell the difference between lemongrass and grapefruit or rosemary essential oil and lavender, okay? So, and lavender is a very strong, potent smell as well. Rosemary essential oil has a very strong, potent smell. So those are just a few essential oils that I can think of at the top of my head. Okay, now let's talk about carrier oils. So carrier oils are a heavier texture, but they have a very, very mild smell, okay? Sometimes you can't even smell it at all. So for example, you have sweet almond oil, grape seed oil, okay? I almost said grapefruit. It's grape seed oil, which is another carrier oil. You have coconut oil, which is a carrier oil. Coconut oil is different from all of the other oils because it usually turns into a solid texture when it's in a cooler temperature, but then it turns back into a liquid texture when it's in a warmer to hot temperature, okay? So coconut oil is very, very good to use, but just make sure you use the right type of coconut oil. My preference would be unrefined virgin coconut oil, okay? It's unrefined. It has not gone through any bleaching process. It is purely organic, and that's with any oils. You want to make sure that all of your oils are purely organic, okay? Especially when you're applying it to your hair. So, another type of carrier oil is castor oil. Castor oil is a carrier oil. And what other kind of oils? Sunflower oil. You have sunflower oil. You have, I already said grapeseed, sweet almond, black seed oil is another carrier oil. And there's so many other types of carrier oils, but those are the few that I can think of. But those are the oils that you can use a good portion of on your hair. Like you can actually use it as a hair moisturizer, okay? So those type of oils you can use as a hair moisturizer and a skin moisturizer because it's very mild when it comes to the smell, and when you use it on your hair or your skin, it's not going to be too strong on your hair or your skin because it's a carrier oil, okay? So it is different from an essential oil. You can't use an essential oil as a hair moisturizer or as a skin moisturizer because you might burn your hair or your skin just by using too much of it, okay? I don't know If anybody has ever tried that, I don't know if you could actually burn your hair or your skin, but it is very, very strong, and I wouldn't recommend to use a whole lot. So just make sure that you know the difference between essential oils and carrier oils. Now let's talk about hair growth oils. So hair growth oils are a mixture of carrier oils and essential oils combined, okay? So usually when you're making a hair growth oil, as I have made in my video a few weeks ago, I've talked about how to make hair growth oil, and basically what you do, you just want to mix carrier oils and a few drops of essential oils. And you can also add natural ingredients to your oils to make the hair growth oil more effective, such as rosemary dried leaves, which I use. So I use dried rosemary, and I also use cloves, okay? And those are just a few of the many natural ingredients that you can add to your oils. But those are the types of things that I add to the hair growth oil. And so I want to make sure that anyone that I talk to, and especially you all, I'm talking to you all as well. So any one of you who are interested in using a hair growth oil, make sure that you know the exact ingredients in the oil. Some people may not be able to use rosemary essential oil, but they can use the rosemary dried leaves, for example, okay? So the dried rosemary is totally different from rosemary essential oil. And in this particular hair growth oil that I'm making, the Rosemary Delight hair growth oil, it does not have rosemary essential oil in the oil. It has dried rosemary leaves in the oil. The only essential oil that I have used in this hair growth oil is the peppermint essential oil, and I have only used a few drops of the peppermint essential oil in this hair growth oil so that it will not be too strong. And it can be used for all ages as well, okay? I use it on my daughter's hair. She's 2, and it makes her hair grow tremendously, okay? So I am able to use it on her hair as well. And so all of the ingredients that I use, I try to make sure that it is mild, that it smells great, and that it's not too strong, but it's strong for the effectiveness of your hair growth. That's what I want. I don't want it to necessarily smell too strong. That's why essential oils can be very, very strong if you're adding too much of it in there, okay? So for example, if you're making just a small ounce of hair growth oil, like a 2-ounce hair growth oil, you only want to use no more than 5 drops of essential oils in your 2-ounce hair growth oil, okay? Just for example, if you're using like peppermint essential oil or rosemary essential oil or lavender essential oil, you only want to use a few drops. I would probably use no more than 3 drops, to be honest, depending on the size of your oil or your butters. Now with hair growth butters, you can add more drops of essential oil in your hair growth butter, which is recommended if you want it to smell really nice, okay? So if you're making like an 8-ounce or a 16-ounce batch of hair growth butter, then you want to add, I would say, anywhere between 15 to 20 drops of essential oil. But I would just test it and just to see what works for your butter. If you want to make like your DIY homemade hair growth butter, or if you want to make your hair growth butter for your customers, just make sure that you're adding the right amounts. You can add more drops when you're making a hair growth butter, simply because it is a blend of butters, such as shea butter or mango butter, cocoa butter, mixed with the carrier oils. And so when you're mixing it with more ingredients, such as the butters and carrier oils, you can add more drops of essential oils, okay? But if you're just making like a small batch of hair growth oil, there's no butters involved, it's just carrier oils, then I would recommend to just add just a few drops, very, very few drops of essential oils, okay? Grapefruit essential oil, you can actually add a little bit more because it's not as strong as lavender essential oil or rosemary essential oil. And so those are the two essential oils that I can think of that is very, very potent, okay? It has a very, very strong smell, and you don't want to add too many drops, okay? Especially if you're using it alone. Like if you're using an essential oil by itself, me personally, I have never used an essential oil on my scalp alone. I always mix it with carrier oils and hair growth butters. So if you do decide to do that, I would just use very few drops in each section, okay? You don't want to add too much because the purpose is for you to keep a healthy scalp and for you to grow your hair. If you're trying to grow your hair, you do want to use the natural ingredients. And so those are natural ingredients, but you also want to make sure that you're using the right amount of those ingredients, okay? I've never used aloe vera essential oil, but I know that it does exist, and I'm not sure what it smells like, so I don't know if it's too strong or if it has a mild smell. I'm not really sure. But yes, I would just try each essential oil and carrier oils. I would recommend to blend it together to make sure that you have a good amount of each oil that you're mixing together, okay? So I hope this helps. I have come across one of my sister friends. She has asked me about essential oils, and she wanted to know like the difference between carrier oils and essential oils. And so that's what has inspired me to make this video, because I want to help you all to understand the difference between those two so that you can know what you're applying to your hair, okay? So thank you all for watching. If you are interested in the Rosemary Delight Hair Growth Oil, definitely give it a try. You can go to my website at mynaturalhairdelight.com. Thank you all for watching. I will talk to you all again soon. Have a blessed and wonderful day. Bye-bye.